Rip and tear. Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host, Jum, and today we talk about Doom 2005, the movie starring The Rock and Carl Urban and Rosamund Pike from Gone Girl. What an interesting combination that is. But yeah, this is based on Doom 3, was it? The sci-fi horror survival game. And so, yeah, I haven't played that. I only saw PewDiePie play it. So I'm like, I saw that, I was like, this is Doom? I thought Doom was the Doom Slayer.
Wait, he played it recently?
Years ago. One was earlier playthroughs.
Because, the only Doom I'm familiar with is the original one that came out back in the day. And everything in between was just like a blur until we got to Doom Eternal, where we're like, oh, we're going back to like mindless violence, and just high-speed fun, and I love that shit. Like, that's the Doom that I'm mostly like familiar with. Where you have the entire soundtrack by Mick Gordon. I think it was the name of the composer. Or you have just like rip and tear, like all the music that like BFG 10,000. Like. That shit goes hard, and sadly, we don't get that here in this fucking movie.
No, we get the USC, which are the soldiers that come before the Doomslayer comes. So we usually find their bodies in the game, and you're like, poor bastards.
Oh, that's the situation. I thought like Carl Urban was Doom guy.
And me too. I'm like by the end, I was like, is he Doom guy? I guess so.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
That's what I was thinking.
If they ever did a reboot of the Doom movie, or did the Doom movie again, I would love to see Carl Urban come as the Doom Slayer. Just silent protagonist, and you're like, fuck yeah. With Mick Gordon's music and all the action you can ask for, and you're like, alright. But this movie's not here or there. This movie is about the USC trying to clean up in Mars, and they don't even talk about hell.
It's not even Mars.
Did they say it's Mars?
It's a completely different planet. They're like, oh, this is like Thaddeus 4 or some shit like that. Like they never mention it's Mars.
I think
they mention that it's millions of light years away from Earth. That's why they need this whole like teleporting thing. And they never mention it is Mars. And when you look at the planet, it's like, that's not Mars. It's a yellow. It's not red.
I think I'm having a Mandela effect then, because it's one of Mars.
Same here, but the actual story is they had a base in Mars, thus, and like the gates of hell is in Mars, oddly enough. And that's where it starts. But they're like, no, let's go to like a random planet that's out of our solar system, that has nothing to do with original like source material, and we name it a weird name.
Yeah, not even the creature designs are that impressive. Well, they're just one creature design.
They were kind of... Yeah, it was just one creature design. Like, sure, the prosthetics in this movie was pretty great.
Yeah.
But other than that, where we get, like, the cyber demons, we got none of those. Except for Pinky. Like, I like Pinky.
Yeah. Like, the main cast here, since it's not Doom Guy, it's The Rock, it's Carl Urban, it's Ben Daniels from Rogue One, of course, Rosamund Pike. I don't know who else is there. Ben Daniels is Blue Leader. He's the guy who made it through the shield in Rogue One, and he died in the Battle of Scarif.
Who did he play in the Doom?
He was the first guy to get taken out.
That was him?
Yeah, we also have the killer.
Wait, he's Goat? He's the guy who like cuts himself across in his arm?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we also have the Killer of the Waynes as this weird creep, and you're like, interesting movie choices.
Yeah. He was also a bad guy in like Peaky Blinders, if you've seen that show.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders. He was a bad guy in, what's the name of the movie with Jason Lee and Bill Skarsgård? Barbarian. He's the ultra creeping Barbarian. You're like, okay, that's why you have.
Yeah, but he's a great actor.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a shame that he plays a creep, but he's a really good actor.
He's a shady Imperial that Bill Burr shoots.
Oh yeah, he was.
He always plays like bad people, like Killer of the Waynes, bad guy and
I get
Barbarian.
he has a bit of insulting as it is. I guess Willem Dafoe gets this a lot too, where he does have a face of a bad guy.
Yeah,
Clearly, outside of work, he's probably a great dude.
probably. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Doom movie, I don't know what to say. Honestly, it's pretty for something called Doom. You're like, this is pretty non action packed. Yeah, there's no.
Yeah,
It's
like-
not adrenaline filled action packed that you're used to. Again, I don't know why the studio's like, the survival horror game that was extremely divisive among Doom fans. We can base our movie on that, and you're like, why? Don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
because it was a new thing. It was the new popular thing. So I guess studios don't really have fans' minds in like around that time. They didn't really have fans' minds like or thoughts on the video game
Yeah,
like in mind when making this movie. So, like, it's just weird. It's slow at the start where like nothing really happens.
yeah,
It's a slow build up, I get it, and they're like showing us the environment of like what they're dealing with, and then like they start getting picked off one by one by this monsters. And we don't get a lot. Maybe we only see like 4 of them
yeah.
or 5 if I'm pinky.
Yeah. We definitely see more than one, but at the same time, you're like, I wish we would pick this up. Like, I get pacing where you're like, we don't want to reveal the creature until maybe halfway through with like Alien and Jurassic Park. But like at this point, but the thing with those movies is that they filled that time between the beginning and the part where we meet the creature with interesting characters, and none of the characters here, aside from Carl Urban, are interesting. Like Reaper literally is the only one that I find interesting. Like the rest, even The Rock's not that interesting. He just speaks in like cliche, "You shut the fuck up, get the fuck ahead, get the fuck out of the way." You're like, what the what?
A lot of F-bombs in this movie, so I was like, wow, was this like before studios were like, okay, we gotta restrict ourselves from saying the F-bomb a lot.
Right? And like, it's nice to see The Rock play a heel once in a while, but he is just so cliche, and you're like, oh man, what a waste.
Yeah, he has like the word "separfy" on his back and everything. You can clearly see he's like an army dude.
Yeah.
By the way, stupidest thing ever was like, all right, let's sync up, point the gun at each other. I'm like, I was like, I didn't get that part. I was like, is this supposed to be like cool? Or it's like very early 2000s cool when clearly the army never does this.
Yeah. I think the worst part about The Rock's character is that he wastes multiple shots of the BFG, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Why?
Right? I think the only shot that connected with the BFG was like when he like. Wait, when? I don't think he ever connected a shot with the BFG.
He did with the Killer of the Waynes. He killed him and the monster, and you're like, well, that's a waste. Shit.
And that was the only time he hit something.
Yeah.
And he only fired that thing 3 times, and he was like, how many rounds you got? And he was like, I got half mag. And he was like, me? I got 1 shot. Yeah, he misses it. I was like, what the fuck?
Right?
Okay.
And you find out...
Yeah. By the way, the BFG is very lackluster.
Yeah. I was about to say, it's like one of those weapons where you're like, why didn't I get this from the beginning? But at the same time, you're like, thank God I didn't get this at the beginning because it's pretty fucking lame.
Yeah. Or like you get it at the beginning and just trade it off for something better.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't know my handgun was more powerful than the BFG. Who knew?
Right? Like, dude, what Destroyer's like GAT
Yeah.
like was way better and more effective than the BFG ever was.
Yeah, it's also not. It's also pretty lame that they exchanged the, oh, we dug so deep that we went to hell. Instead, they were like, oh, we were experimenting on people, and you're like, oh man, I kind of prefer Portal into Hell. Oh well.
Oh yeah, they never mention a portal to hell because we would think that like the teleportation system that they have on Earth to get them from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Was the thing that caused like the whole like, oh, they're teleporting shit now. They started accidentally teleporting like demons into the facility. but that's not the case. They were experimenting with this drug that was like, hey, depending on your morality, you'd either be superhuman or a monster. So I was like, oh. And then like majority of it's just zombie movie.
Yeah.
Like they're just zombies and then they'll turn into monsters later on, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And then The Rock goes insane at one point and he starts murdering people and you're like, ah, yes. We've all had that moment in a video game where we're like, you know what, maybe I could kill everybody here.
Yeah. By the way, I love that this is so stupid because like they introduced the team. We got like Portman, Reaper, Destroyer, Duke, all the cool code names that you could think of, and these guys are like, you ever been in a battle? You don't know battle. Like they're always like this.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, oh, you never experienced this first time, kid. I'm like sick, and then they get like jumpy and scared at the smallest thing, and they would like think irrationally, like they would shoot at a vent.
Right?
When they just see a monkey, and like they immediately lose their cool. And then there's that one guy, Goat, where he's just like, I said the Lord's name in vain. I'm like, you guys are not fit. You guys are meant to die here. Like,
Right?
like you would think that they're like the group from Predator, but they're not.
Exactly. That's what makes it worse. You're like, I was getting the Predator crew. Instead I'm getting the Doom crew. Fuck.
Right? Like we have the Predator crew at home. The Predator crew.
Yeah, and it's such a shame because, again, it's rare to see The Rock turn heel. But in this movie, you're turning heel for the stupidest of reasons.
Yeah.
You're just a corporate slave, just being like, he's just the Clone Wars thing of like, good soldiers follow orders. Starts mowing down civilians. You're like, that's a bit much. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, well, he didn't slow down civilians on camera, but yeah, he like found like the nest of like people who did not turn. I think they were infected, but they didn't turn.
Yeah, and when no Russian on them.
Yeah, and like he kills the kid.
Yeah.
Like, Carl Urban just goes, "This is his first mission."
Right. So, what do you think of the first person segment? Because I didn't like it. It feels like it's on the rails.
No, because like I've seen I've seen first person like movies before. I've forgotten the name of like that one movie where the entire premise is like this guy you're just seeing this entire movie through this guy's perspective.
Yeah, Crazy Henry or something like that.
Yeah. Like it was something like that, or Danger Henry or something. We've seen those and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then we get like Doom where it's like very floaty, like you could tell that they had like a stabilizer like thing going on. And I was like, why is it so floaty? Like it didn't feel as chaotic as you would feel like playing actual Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
It felt like you were
like very slow. Like he's like this.
Felt like you were playing Rambo, the game. He's a god, not a man.
Really horrible PS3.
He's a god, not a man. Come on, comrade. You're like, why? Why does it look like this? Even the chainsaw segment, you're like, all right, and then it's just like the lamest struggle ever. You're like, oh right, I forgot you're not Doom guy. Fuck.
Yeah, he gets knocked out in the fight with Pinky, and Pinky doesn't do anything until the moment he wakes up. And I was like, nah, what? I don't get it. And then like, I will say though, Pinky's design, I do like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, him fighting Pinky with like the chainsaw, it was so floaty and was like so. I was wondering, I was like, is he making contact? I don't know. Do I see the struggle? Not really.
Yeah. And then he gets to his sister, and he gets confronted by The Rock, and you're like, yeah.
Hold on, fuck. Oh. Choked on my spit. Sorry. Yeah, this shit was so stupid. Like, he like tells her like, "Can you make it to the elevator?" She's like, "Yeah, I can." Well, the Rock's like there waiting for him, and they zoom out, and you just see the legs of the sister like skitter away. It was just so funny.
And he's like, you're like, oh, there she goes.
Yeah.
And
By the way. Oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was about to say, it is cool seeing The Rock and Carl Urban throw down. You're like, ah, yes, my two favorite beefy boys throwing down.
It was very Blade.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, you clearly tell that this is made in that era of like, yeah, Blade's the hottest thing, or like, um, or like, you know, like the Matrix was a thing, so they had like the whole like, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of fighting. So I'm like, cool. And I did like the fight scenes here. Like, it was good. Like him versus The Rock was kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, The Rock now calls himself the final boss in social media, I think. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
I don't follow wrestling.
No, I think that's just his new phase, I don't know, of life. You're like, sure,
I
The Rock,
guess
Mr. Dwayne Johnson. But yeah,
whatever you say.
the fight was cool,
But,
but the ending felt like a quick time event. Again, you're like, oh, okay.
yeah, we're like he just has to push the Rock into the teleporter
Yeah.
and then just throws a grenade in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like all problem is solved. I was like, so are you Doom guy or no Doom guy?
yeah. Because you see the final scene and you're like, are you gonna put the helmet on, or are we just wasting time? Credits, oh, we're wasting time.
Yeah. I had like other shit to talk about in this movie. Hold on. I'm trying to like recall. Yeah, I was about to ask you. Did you watch this first time? Did you watch this in like Star Movies or HBO?
I think honestly, the first time I saw this, I think it was a Filipino dub, and then later on in life, I watched it in Moves in HBO.
No, yeah, because like they cut out a lot of stuff here, in like the cable version.
Yeah,
Like the naked lady, I was like, yeah, I never saw that. Like that was my first time seeing it when I rewatched it for this review. I was like, oh, I'd never seen that before. And like a lot of bloody graphics they also cut out.
yeah,
By the way, I still find it so funny because there's this guy named Mac, and he's so cool. Like he's the Japanese guy in the group, and he's like, he like everybody kind of tries to act like they could take this entire situation solo, but they can't. And like, man finally gets into the thick of it and gets his head knocked off. I was like, well, there goes Mac.
Right? Like, well, there goes that guy. He's been stuck in the lobby so long that now he's like, yeah, all right, I can finally play.
Yeah. Like, I found some of the deaths here funny and not as graphic as I would want it to be.
Yeah,
Like, some of them just gets infected. Some of them, like, had, like, a one-on-one with a giant monster. And he, like, tried to climb the rope. And then the monster just pulls it down, and that's how he dies. I was like, what happened to Rip and Tear, man? I get it. That concept was, like, before,
this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't blame him, but like at the same time, I'm like, this is not Doom.
Right. Again, it just feels like you're playing as the guys that die off screen, and the Doom stage is like, well, this is a mess. Oh well.
It was like, well, shit. Anyway,
Rip and Tear. But yeah,
they're the guys that are like, while you're punching a cyber demon in the face, you see like dead bodies all around.
Yeah, this movie is like the equivalent of watching a movie about the NPCs of GTA, and you're like, and I'm bored. And they're dead.
This is technically Halo ODST, but just bad.
Oh, shit. I really don't know what to say about this movie. It's just a missed opportunity to make a kick-ass movie. Instead, you make this really lame survival horror movie.
But just imagine though, like with people who don't take things too seriously nowadays, and like people doing a really good job at like adapting video games to, like, you know, like TV series or movies,
Yeah.
I would love to see a Doom movie
Yeah.
or a Doom TV series
I'd
where
love to see that too.
it's
Please.
just blind rage and like blood and guts and like no holds bar.
Yeah.
Just seeing this dude just rip and tear, and like we have the music.
Yeah, exactly. Again, a movie or show, maybe a movie that's like what, a perfect 1 hour and 30 minutes of just non-stop action. I would love to see
Yeah.
that. But that's not this movie, unfortunately. This movie is pretty lame. And with that being said, what would you rate Doom 2005?
I will give this movie a little bit of merit because I do like the prosthetics. I do like some of the fight scenes here. I do like Carl Urban, and the kid. The kid. I don't know who plays the kid, but he did a really good job. And everybody just worked with what they had at the time. But of course, the script was shit.
Yeah.
The writing was shit, and them not sticking to the source material is shit.
Yeah.
So I'm still giving it the benefit of the doubt. It's a fun time if you're, as Jeremy Jones would say, it's a fun time if you're drunk.
Please
Like
don't
watch it
sue
with
us.
friends. Yeah. No, please. I don't know if you wrote that or like trademarked it. We're just like you. But if you were intoxicated and you watch this with friends, you could have a laugh. And it's just really like B grade movie, or even C grade, you know, like kind of a movie experience. And I would give it a 3 out of 10. Like it's that bad. I'll give it a benefit of the doubt with like the effects and the fight scenes, but nothing in here screams Doom.
Yeah.
Except for like the first person part and Pinky, but other than that, and the BFG, which is not the BFG at all. One, it's blue. Two, it's underpowered. And like, yeah, it's just a straight up 3 out of 10. It's not good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, everybody could smell what The Rock was cooking, and it ain't good. So I'll also give this a 3 out of 10.
It's shit.
Yeah, it was shite. Can you smell it? It's shite. Sorry, Glenn.
It's shit. It's burnt.
It's burned.
It's overcooked.
Yeah.
It's idiot sandwich. That's what you made.
Of course, not his fault. It's just the makers not knowing how to do Doom. Unfortunately, like
Yeah.
3 out of 10 because the effects are passable. I do like Carl Urban, and Rosamund Pike is good here too. Aside from that, again, it's just not Doom. It's not the Doom we're looking for. But like I love these actors. I'm glad are still acting today. Like of course we got Carl Urban this year with The Boys. And I think The Rock is doing an A24 movie with one of the directors of Uncut Gems. Him and Emily Blunt are making a UFC movie.
Oh, that's sick. But like, I heard Uncut Gems is a really good movie. I just don't ever want to watch it again. Like, it was so stressful. And I even refused to like do a review.
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Until now, I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll never do it then.
Yeah, because I hate that movie. I really do. They say it's good, and I believe it's good, and Adam Sandler did great, but like, no, thank you.
Yeah, and also what to say about The Rock? Like, I'm glad his career is still going on, and like in terms of being a wrestler and an actor, like he has Moana 2 this year. I think he came back for WrestleMania this year. I think.
Yeah, you showed me photos.
Yeah, I did. Because it was streaming on Disney Plus. I'm like, I didn't know this was part of the pros. All right, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been our video for Doom 2005. What do you guys think? What's your favorite Doom game? Is it number 3? Is it 2, 1, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal? And which part of Mick Gordon's soundtrack do you guys like the most if you've played Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal? Comment down below. Mine is always Rip and Tear. But yeah, that's just me. But
BFG 1000. 10,000? 1,000. I think it's 1,000.
alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like our videos, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and Spotify to hear us on the go. In the video, I'm Zoda's Voices on TikTok and Ends Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
You can find me at JohnGM _ on Instagram is my article.
And until the next one, we'll see you there. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.